it has to be life changing. You know what I'm saying? I got a $500,000 contract and my phone. You feel me? Started off getting my shit on Insomniac, nigga. You know what I'm like? Real shit that I'm not gonna sign. You feel what I'm saying? Shit just crazy. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Big Griselda, big BSF. Yeah, you know what that is, man. The Butcher coming. Shout out Insomniac Magazine.
The Griselda camp has built a significant brand for their movement and key members over the past few years. Regular visitors to InsomniacMagazine.com have been seeing the name dominate our top 10 list beginning at the start of 2015. Since those days, label head Westside Gunn, Conway the Machine, and Benny the Butcher have become mainstays throughout the hip-hop mediascape. Milestones include the label inking a deal with Eminem's Shady Records, and more recently solidifying a management deal with Jay-Z's RocNation. As we sit poolside on a warm Florida evening, with both the flow of a light breeze and the clanking of Benny's truck jewelry swaying as he speaks, we hear directly from the Butcher on his perspective into the Griselda wave and his ever-expanding footprint within the hip-hop universe. So, Benny the Butcher, welcome to the Insomniac Magazine podcast. What's happening, man? How you doing?
The Butcher coming.
There you go. And I love your apron.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's dope.
You know, I had to...
You got a Butcher apron. It's all bloody already?
Yeah, exactly. I had to bring this out for Orlando. It was only right. You know what I mean? I usually don't... I had it, and then I stopped wearing it, but I had to bring it back out, though.
That's hot. I was asking you, before we turned the mic on, if you were familiar with Insomniac Magazine, and you assured me that you were. Mm-hmm. You mind repeating some of the things that you mentioned about your familiarity with the magazine?
Well, I was letting you know that Insomniac is like one of the first signs of like an underground artist in my lane, in our lane, the Griselda lane. You know, we got a lot of juniors, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the underground media. You along with Sun Tzu, you know what I'm saying, bring a lot of attention with the top 10 lists and the write-ups that y'all do. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was dropping shit in 2016, testing it out to see if y'all drop it. Like I remember I put what I put out. I remember I put out Just Like Rome.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? And Tom Ford Socks, and I was paying attention to see if y'all dropped it. And then I put out my first break and y'all picked it up. So you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a healthier. It's a healthy media, you know what I'm saying, outlet for dudes in my lane. And I always tell dudes that, man, you really don't need to be chasing down World Star or, you know what I'm saying, you need to fuck with the real hip-hop, the essence, the culture of this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you, man. Clearly, man, the feeling is mutual. And speaking of that, man, so it's like Griselda is almost single-handedly as a unit, right? I mean, you always have solo movements, but as a unit, bringing back classic era, boom, bap, lyrical, authentic hip-hop. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with it, you know what I'm saying? And we always talk about it. We'd never get the credit, you know what I mean? We'd never get the 100% credit for it because of where we're from. You know, it's all good, man. This is what we do, man. We love, me and Conway, we love the craft, and Westside Gunn, he loved the art of it, and you know what I'm saying? This is what we do. We eat, sleep, breathe this shit, so it's all good.
The fact that we're talking about the authentic sound musically, and obviously the heavy hitting bars, hardcore spitting. We're also talking about the aesthetics, though. Right? So it's kind of an interesting thing, like hip-hop. And I always say this, it's like hip-hop, when it first started, it was so brilliant. Like, you had this thing that came from nothing. Kids that had no resources built this phenomenal culture-busting thing that we call hip-hop.
Right.
And it seems like with those kind of roots that we should have taken the lyrical content to like some like space level by now. And it seems like for some reason over the past, I don't know, what you think, like almost, man, has it been 20 years now?
About 20 years.
20 years, it seems like everything's been lax when it comes to lyricism. What do you think about that?
I just think it's became more of a hustle to people than an art like it used to be. And so, you know what I mean? Like, the goal is to make money, and mediocrity is what poisoned the game, if you ask me. A lot of mediocre dudes got on, and then you got fucking mechanics, you got fucking high school teachers, you got regular street dope boys who watching mediocre niggas get rich and like look at that shit like, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? The game was overflowed by these dudes, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it real. It's like the fans. Sometimes the fans don't really know what's going on. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it's like this. If we're watching a basketball game and we see somebody drive down there and dunk, boom, we like, oh shit, you see that? But LeBron might be watching it like he didn't get up high enough. You see, he almost like he's a professional player, so he know the flaws in what just happened. But we don't know. We just see the dude dunk the ball. But sometimes the fans, you know what I'm saying, they gas these dudes up. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? They the ones who putting the money in these guys' pocket. And maybe that's what they want to hear, but I believe a lot of mediocre shit came out. It wasn't about the lyrics no more. It was about the beat. It was about you know what I'm saying, about having fun. And like I said, nothing is wrong with that. I'm just saying that's just the fact where it went and how it went. You know what I mean? You know, we come from an era where lyrics was strong. And Griselda, we still living there. You know what I'm saying? We still live in that era where everything is about the lyrics and the beat and the art and the nostalgia of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe that's why it happened for us the way it did, because, you know what I mean, this is the essence of it, man. And in a climate like this, it's like a breath of fresh air. People say hip hop music don't sell, or hip hop music is not important no more, or hip hop music is not this or not that no more. It's all about the streams and shit. It's like that's dead fucking not true. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how could a guy like me with no record deal, with no major record deal, nigga like me could stand up here $80,000 worth of jewels and sign to RocNation? You feel what I'm saying? All for start getting my shit picked up by Insomniac. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoever say that other shit, like, they just don't know. They just not tapped in. That's just not what you pay attention to. I can name 10 niggas right now who I didn't know of until I got in this lane, who's getting money driving foreigns, doing tours, and doing a whole bunch of shit. And it's like, you know, this our lane, so that's what it is. So, you know, them young dudes, they do their other shit, and shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? I can't knock them, but we keeping it 100% authentic over here, and that's important to us.
Indeed, no question about that. So in your opinion, based on where we are now, and certainly the success that Griselda has had as a whole, I mean, not only as kind of building that underground momentum that kind of brought them to surface, obviously the deal with Shady and now the deal with RocNation. I mean, that momentum is inspiring. At the same time, why do you think that it's taken so long to get a movement, a new movement? I'm not talking about cats that have been doing this. You know, clearly you're always going to have cats that are icons that have been doing the thing forever that are going to get shine. But I'm talking about, like, the lyricism being acknowledged now, and, you know, we're almost at 2020.
Because, man, it wasn't. Man, this is the music business. It wasn't trendy. To me, I hear a lot of Griselda lookalikes. I hear a lot of Griselda copiers, and it's trendy. So that's what they doing. When Atlanta came out, that was trendy. You feel what I'm saying? When Atlanta came with their shit, that was trendy. Everybody started doing that. I think right now in our region, a lot of dudes is mimicking what Griselda's doing because it's trendy. You know what I'm saying? They see, there's guys who's like Conway said on his new shit, or some shit I heard. He says, like, niggas was rapping like Designer a couple years ago, and now niggas is talking about bars because they seeing the success other dudes is getting off of it, and they tapping into it. Like I said, it's a hustle to them now. It's not an art, it's not culture, it's not none of that. It's just a hustle to them, and I can't knock it. You know what I'm saying? You got minorities feeding their family off of it, so I would never knock it, but I'm gonna always call it like I see it.
So do you think that establishing that fan base, that's the other kind of phenomenon that we have now, that we have a lot of these cats that kind of blow up virally, but that real foundation isn't there, meaning that fan foundation isn't there? Do you feel that Griselda's approach of literally from the ground up is what's going to lead to longevity in the game?
Yeah, I believe in that 1,000%, because, you know what I'm saying, on my Instagram page I got about 120,000 followers, but when I had 7,000, when I had 6,000 followers, I was still dropping merch and doing good numbers. I was still putting out selling tapes off my page and doing good numbers because the people are tapped in. You feel what I'm saying? And it's more real estate in when you do it from the ground up. You own it. You know what I'm saying? You belong to it. I mean, it belongs to you. Like, I've seen these dudes come out and sometimes the songs get bigger than them. I don't have...
You said designer.
Right.
Panda. People knew Panda.
Right. And it's like this, though. People always want the big hit. You know what I'm saying? People always want what they don't got. They always want the big hit and everything like that. But me, I'm a person who's not trying to hit my ceiling too fast. You know what I'm saying? Easy come, easy go. You know what I'm saying? We moving smooth and steady. It's not a rush. I plan to be here in years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to, like, get a top Billboard hit tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even though with the Griselda success, it's a bunch of people who don't even know who the fuck we are. So, you know, it's no rush. It's about, you know what I'm saying, doing what we're doing at a comfortable pace, and everything is natural.
Indeed. So talk to me a little bit about the come up. And I know you are not new to this. I know you've been in the game for a long time, over a decade, doing your thing. 2 Chainz Benny. Mm-hmm. And, you know, obviously we've seen a lot more of you over the past, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. Feel free to, by the way, to correct me if you think I'm wrong at any point. And I think a lot of that came from dropping the music, but at the same time, when it came to Griselda, also having that aesthetic, right? Like seeing that, you mentioned merch, seeing that on the physical product, seeing that with the logo, seeing that with the music that was being dropped, you know, the artwork that was being used. Tell me a little bit about that look.
Yeah, I think that got a lot to do with it. The nostalgia of the way Westside Gunn talk and what he say when he talking. Conway being shot in the head, and my brother Machine Gun Black not being here with us, and the stories that I tell, my drug dealing tales that I tell, that I lived every one of. You know what I'm saying? My boy Duffelback Hottie, who will be right here with me, who I was telling him, I mean, y'all was picking his shit up. You know what I'm saying? He's facing 20 years in federal jail right now. You know what I mean? And my one man, he just copped out to 22 years. And my boy J-Rock in a wheelchair. These people who will be with me. And it's like Tito's back. How Conway mentioned Tito and the cow. I think people's intrigued about the Buffalo story. They never heard it. They never seen it. You know what I'm saying? They thought it was a place that it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And we giving them a different look at it. I think all that plays a part in it. West doing a merch and, you know what I'm saying? Like nostalgia. I keep saying that word because that's what it is. And you know what I'm saying? These dudes could copy everything we do, but they can't mimic that.
True. So talk to me a little bit about, obviously, you know, we talked about Griselda, but your label is Black Soprano. Right. So tell me a little bit about the Black Soprano label and some of the things that you're currently working on outside of, you know, anything that we already know about on your tip, which is actually Griselda, right? Like you're Griselda. Right. So tell me a little bit about Black Soprano.
Black Soprano is my label, my home team, my guys, you know what I'm saying? And I've been doing this for, like you said, years on top of years on top of years. And Westside Gunn is my cousin. Conway is my cousin. This is my blood family. So they realize who I am and what I am, and that I've been had that going on. I learned it. I learned the game from Wes. You know what I'm saying? I learned it from him. A lot of entrepreneur shit. And that's my label, man. City Boy, that's my right-hand man, my best friend for like 20-something years. DJ Shady, he's a producer. He's the in-house producer. He produced the Crowns for Kings with Black Thought. He produced the 18-wheeler with Pusha T. I got Rick Hyde. Rick Hyde is crazy dope. He's a producer, too. You know what I'm saying? RJ Payne, everybody know he's an animal. You know what I mean? My boy Jake, he's the president of the company. And, man, that's the team, you know what I'm saying? And all those dudes move with me wherever I go. And we work cohesively, and we work like smart. I mean, smarter, not harder. And everywhere we go, people is like surprised at the way we work. You know what I'm saying? We a team that's one thing I pride myself on, is how good and well my team moving. We go to these venues and do shows, and when we leave, the promoters be thanking us. Like, yo, nobody never ran it like this. You know what I'm saying? Just real shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like I signed a RocNation deal, and just my Black Soprano staff is in touch with the RocNation staff, and that's how we get things moving, because they capable to move at that speed. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed, no question. So what are your thoughts about the deal with RocNation and the trajectory of of not only your career but also the movement as a whole, meaning the Griselda movement, the Black Soprano movement. Mm-hmm. What do you see happening with that move to such a prominent player in the industry? I mean, that's big time management.
I think it's going to ultimately put us in a better position to win. Just like anything else we did, just like the move what Shady did. You know what I'm saying? It's like we see eye to eye with those dudes over there at RocNation. This has been an ongoing thing. A lot of people don't know that when Wes and Conway signed the Shady deal, it was this close to being RocNation. You know what I'm saying? So this has been a relationship that we've been had with them. I was in the feds with Emery. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we all see eye to eye, and this is something that we feel like Ben should happen. And Hov said that all this month. He was like, "Yo, like this." I was like, he was like, "I'm the guy y'all looking for." Tata over there and M and Chase and hip hop, it's all family, you know what I'm saying? And I believe that those dudes believe in us and we trust them. Just about to be a whole bunch of big moves, man. People gonna see it's gonna be a whole bunch of big moves. Like even the shit that I got in works, man. It's beautiful, man. The butcher's coming, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
So I'm assuming that you will agree that Hov's advice to not think twice about the XXL cover was on point.
Yeah, of course it is, because he was dead on with that, because I denied being in the cover. Let me address this first, which they claimed they even picked me. But what they said okay, let me get to this first. I denied the cover. And then less than a year later, me, Wes, and Conway got a spread. We're going to be in the next issue. I'm going to be up there with my family instead of up there with just strangers. In the interview when they interviewed me, they hired a freelance reporter, and they didn't give him any instructions. They trusted him. They gave him one instruction, and that was to tell me that we didn't pick you. So you telling the world we denied you, we didn't pick you. And I had to tell him, it's like, of course they said that, because before they even got finished doing a picking process or whatever they was doing, I already went public and said what I said. So of course they're going to say, "Oh, we didn't pick you." I'm pretty sure y'all didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fool. But even if they didn't, it's all love. But what I'm saying, shout out to Double XL. But it made more sense for me to turn it down on some freshman shit. And now look, I'm gonna be in there with a $2,000 outfit on with my family. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that we put you on the Hip Hop Elite Insomniac cover.
Right. No, I seen that, man. I appreciate that, man. I know y'all know what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? That the smart people are tapped in. The dumb motherfuckers come late. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? The dumb motherfuckers come late. And they be offended that they be late sometimes. But sometimes they be glad that they found us. But the smart people tap in. So when like Hit Boy and Russ, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people who don't got to reach out to me, these is dudes who reached out to me to work with me. You know why? Because they're smart. They understand what's going on. They understand the landscape. You got other dudes who just waiting to tap in or just waiting to see who else going to fall in. But, that's the business of it.
That's it. So what would you say, speaking of the business, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned in this pretty long journey?
Oh, man, don't sign a record deal. If you don't have to, don't sign a record deal. And not a lot of people feel like they in those shoes to do a record deal and turn it down, or you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm in that position. Whoever thought that I would be, but don't sign a record deal. You hear dudes like Jay-Z mention it all the time. You hear dudes like Master P mention it all the time. Like, you would be a fool not to listen to those dudes. They did it. You watching them. No Rich from the 90s.
No question.
Or maybe even earlier. Like, you watching them, and they're telling you that precious information. And if you to go against that, it's like that's like asinine. You know what I mean? Like, maybe if it work out for you, it got to be life changing. It can't be like a little boost. It can't be a boost. It has to be life changing. You know what I'm saying? I got a $500,000 contract and my phone. You feel me? Started off getting my shit on Insomniac, nigga. You know what I'm like? Real shit that I'm not going to sign. You feel what I'm saying? It's just crazy. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but that's just what it is. So, because once, let's say Plugs, let's say, if I was signed to a label, I wouldn't even been able to put that up as a cover. That's from Scarface movie. So much fucking yellow tape. Oh, we're going to get sued. We can't make that the cover. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes it's lower, playing below that line. You know what I'm saying? I'm not missing no meals. You know what I'm saying? It's not about money. I'm not looking at another man and say like, damn, I got this, but he got that. I don't care. As long as my family good, as long as I got what I got and a bunch of things that I want, I'm straight. I'm not chasing after nobody else. I'm not in competition with nobody else. We're going to get money. We're rappers. You know what I'm saying? We just signed a RocNation contract. We're going to get money. It's not about trying to match up to the, oh, damn, they doing that, so we got to. It's not about that. I'd rather be a leader in my lane than compete with somebody else in theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed, no question. However, the other thing I would say that is certainly an important piece of the puzzle is hard work. I mean, this clearly didn't happen overnight, but it also didn't happen without blood, sweat, and tears. The talent is a given, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I know your history. I know that you are chopping up, killing, murdering beats like nobody's business. So we all know that. Mm-hmm. But as far as the hustle, as far as the work, what are some of the things you think that you did in your career to get you to where we are now?
Man, it's good you asked this question, because this what I'm about to say is 10 times more important than the music. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. First thing I did was, I just told you about how my friends is facing time. And a couple of those dudes, I put them in the game. I was showing them shit. I was like running around. You know what I'm saying? You hear the songs like I was really doing that. At a time like that, my hands full, my niggas catching cases, I had to make a choice. I had to fall back from everything. And it was people coming to me, it's like, yo, because they were saying that I had fucked my money up by chasing music, by invested in the music, because that's how much I love music. A lot of people, music got in the way of their life. Like, life got in the way of my music. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I invested in my music, and my phone ended up getting slow. I was buying bad dope, and Wes was telling me he was about to sign a deal, and I walked away from everything. Because to get here right now, sitting across from you, having a show tonight, getting this interview, the things that I got going on, you got to make yourself available for those things. If they waiting for you in the future, you got to make yourself available to them. So I can't be running around taking penitentiary chances when this is the future that God got set for me. You got to prepare yourself. So one thing that I did do, I stopped selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't stress that enough. That's why I say it in the music. Like, I was laughed at by bitches. I was talked about by my friends. I stopped. I fell back. On my birthday, I wasn't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? One of my birthdays, I went to the club and popped 30 bottles. You know what I'm saying? A couple birthdays later, me chasing a dream, I sat at the house. You feel what I'm saying? But that's what I had to do. So I did that for one, so I could make myself 100% available for this. And I just wrote my ass off. I studied. I worked on getting better. I wasn't just putting out mediocre shit. It's like, okay, since Insomniac picked this up, I can just drop. No, I was looking at that list and seeing why am I number 5 and not number 1? Like, real shit. Like, I'm telling you, that's a good tool that y'all got. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here telling you that. It's like real shit. And I know other artists feel the same way, but I wrote my ass off. I sat in a house. I remember I wrote my first break, all in a house, in the projects, sitting in the same spot on a couch. And I was superstitious. If I wasn't sitting in that same spot of the couch, I didn't feel it. I had to sit in that same spot. And I traveled. You know what I'm saying? It take money to do this shit, but I traveled. Even when I didn't have it, I took those chances. You feel what I'm saying? I remember Wes, before I was signed to Griselda, Wes had a show in Boston. Yo, come to Boston. I went to Boston. Me and City Boy went to Boston. I'm broke as a bitch. Phone off. Like, real shit. You know what I'm saying? Went to Boston. Dudes I get up there. He let me do Shower Shoe Lords. People were singing my shit. That was the first time I seen that. That was motivation. I was linking with terminology. Term invited me to a show, and I was traveling. I wasn't making excuses. People was inviting me to a show. I'm like, yo, I don't know how to get there. If you could help me, I wasn't saying none of that shit. I was getting there. I made it my business to chase this dream. I made myself available for that. I DM'd people. I was relentless. Same right now. I just DM'd Pusha T to get that song. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same way now. I was relentless. along with the talent, along with the situation with Griselda, I was relentless. That's how, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed, no question. And I love that. I love the fact that you said you made it your business, because so many times in hip-hop, it is a lot of, the perception is that it's a lot of fun and games. And I think that's why we have so many people in it, because it just seems so, beautiful on a video, but it's a painful path if you want to make it happen.
Yeah, 100%. People don't understand that. And that's something that I deal with right now. You know, people look at me and they feel like I'm just living my best life. I'm doing this. To be honest with you, man, this shit's stressful. This shit ain't what you think it is. But this is what we wanted. This is what I signed up for, and I'm prepared for it. But it's nothing to be going out your way to be making diss songs about a person you don't know. It's nothing to be going out your way to, you know what I'm saying, to just to do shit to degrade yourself. It's not worth none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not worth none of that. And people, this is not for everybody.
Indeed.
This is not for everybody.
Indeed. So another topic that I know has come up, and I've seen you message about it on social media. I also have heard you talk about it. Are people that maybe criticize the subject matter? And I'll tell you, man, I'll break it down. I mean, I told you I'm from the inner city. I'm from the Bronx. My pops unfortunately was a heroin addict his whole life, and we all know that authentic hip hop in many ways, and I believe it was Ice Cube that first said it, it's the CNN of the streets. However, there's one thing to talk about, the game, to talk about the tragedies on the street, and to talk about real things. But it seems as though, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong, it seems as though that there's something that's so alluring and glamorous about it that you have an entire world of rappers rapping about things they never lived, never did, and never will do. And there has to be room for everybody, everything, but everybody want to be in that lane that shouldn't be in the lane, that don't belong in that lane. What do you think about that?
Like I said, it goes back to hip hop being a trendy thing, and it's trendy. You know what I'm saying? Dudes think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's somewhat is. We like that life. That's why we rap about it, and that's where we from, and that's what our heroes did. You know what I'm saying? Our heroes wasn't on Chapel Hill, or our heroes didn't come from out of World War I. You know what I'm saying? Our heroes was like dudes who was putting on a block, you know what I'm saying? Writing for the hood for some way. I feel like that's because all we had. And that's why I put both sides in my music, because like this shit real. And I know people, I'm not the only person that go through it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy Sue Surf, you know what I'm saying? He been catching cases, he been shot up. You know what I'm saying? He know what this like. Look up Conway. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of rappers like really live that life. A lot of rappers haven't though. But man, when you come from that life, you carry yourself a different way, because it's not all about glorifying. You know what I'm saying? Like, the streets broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? My brother gone. You feel what I'm saying? That shit, my mom was addicted to crack for a lot of years, so the streets broke my heart. The streets made me the animal I was, and that's why I tell the stories that I tell when I know a lot of dudes want to be looked at as dope boys or want to be looked at as killers or gun toters, because, you know what I'm saying, that's what people think is cool, but you could tell who really did it and who really haven't, you know what I'm saying? It's just the way you talk about it. I talk about it, I kind of glorify it because that's where I'm from, but I always give you both sides. I let you know it's like, there's death on the other side of that door. There's prison on the other side of that door. I got songs where I'm rapping about going to prison and my girl cheating on me. I'm saying I'm totally transparent with that life. So,
no question. In many ways, hip-hop history has become disposable. And I've heard you say more than once, kind of talk a little bit about some of your inspirations, obviously Hove and Nas and even, G-Rap a little bit, even though that he was kind of before your time, though. And in many ways, you're on that lineage, right? But in many ways, kids today don't know a lot of those folks. Maybe they know who's on the cover of a magazine, but that's about it. Yet a lot of them consider themselves hip-hop heads. So for those folks that are out there that maybe are young, that are looking up to Benny, give them 5 albums from your mouth that they should go back in the history of hip-hop and dig into?
Ready to Die, Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, All Eyes on Me, and The Chronic.
Nice. Very nice. I would love to get some parting advice from you. Somebody's out there, man. They're young. They're in a dark place. They're feeling the pain. They're feeling the pressure. They're finding inspiration in hip hop, in the music you're putting out, in Plugs I Met, in Tana Talk 3. What advice do you give them, man?
This for a young rapper?
Yeah.
Man, stay down and study the craft. You know what I'm saying? Study it. Like those albums I just named. Study those and see why those was great. You know what I'm saying? Don't just jump in it and expect people, you know what I'm saying? Know your surroundings. Know about the Insomniacs. Know about the Sun Tzus. Know about the... Instead of feeling like you got to chase Benny down for a feature or chase Kiss down for a feature, know about the artists that y'all been posting up to chase them down for a feature to get in a loop. You feel what I'm saying? And just know the landscape. That's the main important thing. I knew the landscape. Everybody was, yo, Benny, let me get a feature. And I was telling them about y'all and Sun Tzu. And that was way more important than a feature. These dudes going to post all your hot shit. I'm going to give you a feature one motherfucking time. You got one favor to use with me. But, you know what I'm saying? And just dive in it. Quality. Make sure the music quality. This is not a charity sport. This is not charity. Nobody's handing nobody nothing. Just because people from your city, they're not going to support you. You shouldn't expect them to. Do everything you could do. Keep it quality. Keep it pure. Keep it real. And go for broke with it. Go for broke. If you not a rapper, but you wake up tomorrow and decide you want to be a rapper, I'm not your competition. I'm not. Cardi B is your competition. She the one killing shit. Cardi B is your competition. Drake is your competition. J. Cole is your competition. So when J. Cole wake up, he got pick of the litter far as beats, producers, studios, directors, anything. So you gotta some way, I don't know what to tell you, but some way, somehow, you gotta level that advantage. And that sounds impossible. And it might be, you know what I'm saying? But that's what you gotta do. If Cardi B got the access to the best producers in the world, guys like from the bottom can't afford to rap over a mediocre beat. You can't afford to. You can't afford to shoot a bullshit cheap video. You know what I'm saying? You gotta like put your all into it. And I'm this shit is almost spiritual to me because you know plenty guys like me. I'm the guy from the neighborhood who been rapping for years in and out of jail. I'm that guy. So people to see me where I'm at in my town, they like, because it happened. So if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. And I only know how to tell people to do what I did. I didn't put out a song and then they got 12 million on YouTube the next day and then I was on the Breakfast Club. That ain't happened for me. I did it the hard way and it worked. You know what I'm saying? I did it the hard way and it worked, but I exasperated like all my energy going to shows, doing free I did everything, man. That's what it is, man. Do every fucking thing you can do. Be a pest. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you get to this side, it's beautiful. So chase your dream, man.
Indeed, no question. And come with the lyrics.
Come with the motherfucking lyrics. Listen to how these rappers are rhyming syllables, double entendres, metaphors. That's what people are attracted to. That's what make you an elite. You know what I'm saying? You got guys who could sell records, but they not considered an elite. You know what I'm saying? It's like all the elites take, you know what I'm saying? We got pride, you know what I'm saying? I walk in a room. You know what I'm saying? You got the greatest rappers, whoever lived is going to salute me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about maybe the guy who had the best #1 record, who got the biggest chain, the best car, maybe he won't salute me, but the greatest rappers who ever walked the earth is going to say, Benny's an animal. And that's important to me.
Nice. And there's no doubt about that, man. Definitely one of the dopest in the game, period. And I want to thank you so much for taking time and talking to us. And I wish you much continued success, just a lot of everything you've been building all these years, man. Thank you.
Man, thank you. Like I said, man, y'all was a good tool that I used to get where I'm at. I had to return the love.
Thanks. Peace.